Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of the Big Freaking Friday Show on the College Football Mafia Network. I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown. Is with me one of my two co-hosts that will be just the two of us tonight because Ute actually has a life, has little kids to worry about, and that's not something Moen or I have, at least at home, right this second. I'd like to welcome everybody to a Friday night. How we doing tonight, Moen?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I don't have any little kids here. All the parents paid the ransom. It was fantastic. I made out like a bandit. So yeah. And we don't get trick-or-treaters out this way, believe it or not. So yeah, this is one of my favorite holidays, Halloween. Uh love horror, love science fiction, love fantasy, love Halloween.
Why don't you tell everybody what Moen Vision originally started at? There's a lot of new people that have only been with us, I'd say, even just the last 2 years. What is your background? Tell everybody kind of why this. I think I have a pretty good idea, but even I'm learning stuff about you all the time. What is Halloween to you, and what has been Moen Vision?
In the past, I did a project called Moen Vision. Everybody knows, well, I shouldn't say everybody. Everybody who knows me knows that I love media and media restoration and preserving old media. I'm still one of the guys who has a VCR and a
Right,
Betamax and a
right.
Betamax disc
Betamax, let's go.
and a laser disc player.
Hmm.
And I like to preserve and restore media from the past and stuff that most people have never even heard of, but it exists out there. And I enjoyed doing restorations of it and putting that up for a while. And, it was fun.
I would just say that's how you and I first met, is over the Moen Vision and what that meant, and how I've had always had questions over how the there's an age, right? 100 years or 75 years, whatever it is, for media that you have open access to, and that eventually becomes just the world has access to. Why don't you kind of tell everybody how that licensing works and sort of where you got started?
Yeah. I mean, the licensing works pretty much as you say. There's certain licenses that just expire due to copyright, and then there's certain licenses that just expire due to production companies going out of business. And it's just kind of left up there. It's never a sold asset, and they're out there in the world. And there's a lot of interesting stuff out there if you're willing to look for it. Um, I had fun doing Moen Vision. It was just a limited time thing, but it was
Right.
one of the many of Moen Industries because I've got 3 or 4 different YouTube channels, so different Moen Industries out there.
Absolutely. Why don't you tell everybody what your original moniker slash brand name was?
Um, we'll save that for another time. That's another.
Okay. All
That's
right.
another. That's another story that
Okay. All
we'll
right. I'm
save
just
that
trying
for
to give
another
you all
time.
the I'm just trying to give you all the airtime you want, because honestly, I think the rest of us, maybe we take it for granted that you've been doing this a very long time. And I have nothing but respect for all the hard work you've been doing over the years. And honestly, you've been doing stuff like YouTube, or even long before Twitter became a thing, where you are able to take what is intellectual property, hello, NIL, and you turn around and you use it. You leverage it and you try to put it into a consumable item, right? There's a lot to that.
Ah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And another one of my passions is college football, and hence joining up with the college football mafia. So
Uh,
adding the Moen brand to the college football mafia network, and doing Moen After Dark with Rock and Ran every Sunday, my own namesake show. And yeah, but I'm a huge Halloween fan. Love Halloween. As soon as I get off here, I'm going to watch Halloween 3. Um,
okay.
I watched
All right.
Halloween 1 and 2 already, so Halloween 3 and 4. And then like I stop. I don't go to the remakes and the reboots and all that stuff.
Okay. If there's anything I don't like, it's Halloween. But it is my wife's favorite holiday. So I'm glad there are a few of you guys out there. You keep the billions and billions dollar machine, keep that going, and whatever. Good for you. It's just I'd rather be doing other things with my time. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube. If you are watching on X tonight, at any point, do us a favor and jump over onto YouTube, College Football Mafia. Hit that subscribe button, and last but not least, make sure you leverage that branding as it go and turn it into a sport. And that's what we've tried to do around here. Certainly college football is our passion, and I want to welcome everybody here tonight. Before we get into anything else, I'm going to give you an opportunity to rant. Ohio State was off this last week, and you were able to take the catbird and sit back and just sort of look at the rest of the outlook of college football right now. Coaches changes, you got whole programs that are in flux. What was your third eye sort of look at this last weekend to the rest of college football?
It's really surprising. The SEC is kind of, we talk about the Big 12 being an open conference where
Mm,
everybody's competing. The SEC is the same way. I mean, that Alabama South Carolina game, um, Alabama barely escaped that.
they did.
Right? And,
Yeah.
and, there's, that Ole Miss Oklahoma game. Oklahoma was on top, and it looked like Ole Miss was going to Ole Miss, and Ole Miss came back and snatched victory from the jaws of defeat.
They
So,
did.
uh, Missouri, Vanderbilt, Missouri's starting quarterback went down, unfortunately, and they kind of were left to a true freshman, but um, still a great game. So, I mean, I watched a lot of SEC games last week. Watched a lot of, there weren't very many competitive Big Ten games last week. So, I watched some Big 12 games. Uh, BYU again, congratulations, great comeback against Iowa State. Um, Houston, Houston impressing. Um, so and Cincinnati stayed on a roll too. So
They have.
it's going to be very interesting. I think college football playoff rankings come out to see just how many teams they have in the conference, especially for like the ACC and the Big 12,
Mhm.
because that is still way out in the open. Georgia Tech, Virginia, Miami. Miami may not play in the ACC
I
championship game.
know. Again, man, we go year after year. It's crazy the way
You
that
may have a one-loss Miami and a one-loss ACC champion, or potentially 3 one-loss ACC teams. So it could be crazy. It could get crazy at the end of the season.
absolutely, absolutely true. Before we get into the picks and kind of how I keep reminding myself, we're already blown past week 9, and we now have week 10, and college football has never been more vital, has never been more strong in the popular consciousness. Just before we get off of the rebound and sort of the look at the way week 9 worked out, I mean, if you're Indiana, if you are BYU, if you are Miami's already given one away. How much more important is every week? And how stupid is the storyline that just adding more games it immediately devalues whatever's being played?
Yeah. I disagree with that take myself, but um yeah, week 10, man. It's been flying by. And I guess I can say this from a fortune, I haven't really outside of week 1, Ohio State really hasn't had any tough opponents. So
Right,
they've
right.
all been kind of blowouts, and I hope that trend continues. Um I don't want any competitive games. Uh but
You talking
yeah, I
about Big
mean,
Ten, Big Ten wise? Is that what you mean?
yeah, I'd like to see Ohio State and Indiana kind of win out
Okay.
and play each other in the Big Ten championship game as both undefeated teams. I think that would be a really, really interesting Big Ten championship game. Obviously, just even having Indiana in the Big Ten championship game is really interesting and exciting.
and
So,
we've and we've gone year after year, and I don't think that storyline's going to change. If anything, I think more teams are going to be involved every year. You could have a year where a Maryland and Indiana and Illinois, even a Purdue, could be playing for a Big Ten. Let alone the playoff, could win the Big Ten outright. Um, you and I might disagree on the hows and where we go from to get from here to there, but I'm a big believer in college football being like the second or third strongest league in all of the world. And it just it I love more and more games. And I might be in the minority there, but I wanted BYU. I always want BYU and Utah to be undefeated at the end of the year. If I had my preference, that Holy War game would end the year, and whoever went there would definitely, if not went to the Big 12 championship game, was a shoe in for the CFP.
yeah, I think that having rivalry games early or mid-season, it just doesn't. And I'll say it. I'm an Ohio State guy, so our rivalry game is the final game of the regular
Right?
season.
Yes,
Uh,
jealous. Very
our key
jealous.
rivalry. So for me, but for the Big Ten, there's lots of rivalries like that. Iowa, Nebraska is usually reserved for the end of the year, that Black Friday game. So
Right.
um, I like rivalry games at the end of the year. I know you have mentioned it before, doing Thanksgiving for the Holy War.
The
I
day
think that,
before Thanksgiving, yeah.
or the day
Yeah.
before Thanksgiving, I
Yeah.
think that makes a lot of sense, especially because it's an in-state rivalry.
Right.
Thanksgiving, it's family, it's togetherness, and you have this in-state rivalry of Zoobs and Youbs, or however it's you guys do it. But
Yeah, I don't know. I don't call it any of those things, but I get what you're saying, certainly, from the third party perspective for sure.
yeah, I mean, for me, just that's the kind of thing that I look forward to, and uh, I love the fact that we're this deep in the season. And be honest with you, Ohio State's undefeated, but I don't think Ohio State's unbeatable. Um,
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
national championship is still. I don't think there's been a team that's been so super dominant uh, that we could say that they're unbeatable on their way to a national championship.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm just as you were going through this. This isn't something you and I had pre-planned before, but if you look at the entire country of all the potential games, from the mightiest of might to the lowliest of low, shout out Tulane losing another important game, sort of called that with Jake Retzlaff. But it's is there one team that you put up on a shelf saying hands hands over hands over hands, that's the one team that no matter what, no matter conditions, would absolutely be undefeated? I don't think there's one team in the country that can say that.
I don't believe it either. Especially after Miami had that uh,
Yeah.
meltdown against Louisville.
Yeah.
Um, Ohio State, and they struggled against Texas. I give first game of the season, though, you've got to give them a little slack for that. But that's you know they've got a quarterback. It's his first season, so
They do.
but they've got some great receivers. Matt Patricia has shown on defense that he obviously knows where it's at. Ohio State looks to be the most safest bet. Let's put that
Complete,
safest bet,
I
but
think. Yeah,
complete. I'm not going to give them complete yet, just
I
because
think they're pretty close,
they've
but I get what you're
they've
saying.
they've got to beat Michigan at the end of the year. They got to get
Oof,
over that Michigan hump.
oof. Yeah, as a Buckeye fan, um, that's an open question right this second. You've already won your national championship in the last 2 years. Which at this point is more important to you, that Michigan game or going back to back?
Listen, if I had an option, back to back national championships or beating Michigan, it would be really close for me. I
But
almost want to go. I would say go back to back simply because Ohio State has never done it before. It's one of the things that has escaped Ohio State,
right.
but it would be really close. It would be really, really. I really, really, really want to beat that team up north.
I think that's fair. I also think that, in my opinion, those year to year battles matter, but national championships are timeless.
Hmm.
So, people think about Cooper not being able to get over. And Michigan certainly sticks in the craw of most Ohio State fans. But at the end of the day, national championships, they literally are timeless. They have no relative to the rest of the world around them. In my opinion, I would much rather a national championship than. I mean, I it's not even a question. As a BYU fan, I would trade 50 years of losing to Utah for another national championship. So I think it just comes down to where your priorities are and kind of where you're sitting in your car.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But again, back to back, just it's something that's eluded Ohio State in the past, so that would be why I would be
Right.
for it. But if it was just win another national championship or beat Michigan, I would probably just say beat Michigan. The I'm sick of losing to Michigan. I really
I
am.
totally fair. Yeah, I get that. Um, and I also think it has to do with kind of what your 360 view of it is too. If you've only won one, or I wouldn't even say two, I would just say one national championship, or losing over and over again to your rival. In my humble opinion, I think the natty is so much more important. But that's sort of an open question nowadays with NIL, with transfer portal, with the world that's painted around us. It really does make a difference for longevity of your brand. You got to win now. Hello, Kelly at LSU. That has just been a dumpster fire, and it just gets worse.
Well, please, let's not insult dumpster fires. Not on Halloween.
I appreciate that. That is fantastic. Just a shout out. Wild Ute again will not be joining us tonight. It'll just be Moen and I. So we'll have time for more comments, certainly more discussion. What's our goal tonight, Moen?
We've got a $150 goal in place,
Okay.
and if we hit the $150 goal, I will jump off camera and become the Moth Moen,
The
another part
Moth
of the Moen
Moen.
brand.
All right, that kind of freaks me out a little bit. I know Mothman, that freaks me out. But I think at the end of the day, Halloween is a big deal to a lot of people. Um, I will explain who I am if we get to that $150. That's about all I can do. I'm not much more into the performing, and I'm certainly not a presentation guy like you are. But don't tell anybody. I kind of feel bad that you mentioned Ethan Moth Moen, because I think that'll be a fantastic transformation.
I think you guys will really enjoy it. And me, I love folklore. It's what I studied in college, along comparative studies of
Very
folklore. And I
good.
love Ohio folklore. Mothman is a huge part of Ohio and West Virginia folklore. So
Is that where it's at? I thought for some reason I thought it was West Virginia.
it's West Virginia and Ohio. He was actually cited
Okay.
in both West Virginia and Ohio. And
Okay.
the bridge that went down actually went down was a bridge connecting Ohio and West Virginia
Across the Ohio River?
across the Ohio River. Yeah.
Okay, so don't tell anybody else. They might
Okay.
not know who
Okay.
Mothman is either, but I would love to hear the history. So everybody, please get us to $150 because I want a history lesson from Moen. I always enjoy listening to his stories anyway. So I would really like to hear the whole back end of that. But to do that, we need to get to $150. Doesn't matter how we do it. It could be what is it? It would be 75 $2 chats, or it
Yeah,
could
just as
be
long as we hit
150.
150 in support, that's all that
Right.
we care about between super chats and membership gifting and all that.
All right, very good. Sorry, my ear just all of a sudden got itchy. Okay, let's quickly get to some comments, and then we'll get
Sure.
into our how we did last week and kind of where we are in the record books, as it were. First person in the house, teeing them up again. That would be the big Lubbock. It's good to have you here, Lubbock. Thank you for being here tonight. He says, after all these coaching rumors and changes, Joey McGuire looks like a home run hire. What do you think about that?
I think it's easy to say that when you've got the roster that he has.
Sure.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
but that being said, lost a little bit of a luster and I understand you had your backup quarterback playing, but lost a bit of luster when you lost that game.
I think Texas Tech is at risk right now. 3 weeks ago, everybody thought Texas Tech was bulletproof. And now you look at them and people, whether it's you and I, it's just a local thing or it's nationwide. Thoughts on Texas Tech?
Again, I think they slipped a little bit, but one slip up. The great thing about the 12-team playoff is one slip up no longer dooms your season. You can still climb back from it. Texas Tech can still make that Big 12 championship game, still make it into the college football playoff, still try and go for a win in the college football playoff and get the Big 12's first win in the CFP.
Yeah, that would be
In the
great.
12-team CFP. I don't want
Sure.
to
Yeah.
take away from TCU.
Absolutely true. Joseph Kerlegan Jr., again, one of the greatest names. Good to see you, Joseph. LSU better not even think about having an incentive-based contract for a coach. If LSU does back to losing like they were in the mid 1990s, Texas Tech, man, LSU, I don't know. I mean, at what point, what coach is untouchable at this point?
I think you have to. Dabo Swinney would be untouchable at Clemson.
Interesting. Okay.
I think Dabo would be untouchable at Clemson, just because what Dabo's done for the university there in Clemson.
Fair.
So Dabo would be untouchable. I think Dabo might be the only untouchable coach in college football at the moment. I think everybody else. Kirby's smart. Kirby might be up there. Georgia would probably take a lot for Georgia to get rid of Kirby Smart. But yeah. Listen, man, it's a shit show. I mean, there's no other way to put it. What's happening at LSU? You've got the governor getting involved. You've got an AD who is hired to hire and fire coaches who parted ways with LSU. You've got a committee. You've got the governor coming out making media appearances talking about LSU winning the bowl championship series. The bowl championship series hasn't been a thing in a minute, So I don't know. It's just been a shit show. And if you're a coaching candidate, Why would you want to go to a place like that?
I, these are great questions. I don't know. High expectations means you get a lot of support. Um, I don't know. Go into that a little bit deeper. I'd love to
Well,
hear
I
your
mean, yeah,
thoughts
you get a
because
lot of support, but
Ohio
you
State, we thought was on edge until you go out and
right,
win a
but
national
Mike.
championship.
Here's the thing: Mike DeWine, the governor of Ohio, didn't get involved in it.
Right.
Nobody cared about Mike DeWine's opinion on Ohio State football, nor
That's
should
true.
they. Nor should they. I understand that they're public employees. I completely understand that head football coaches are public employees, that ADs are public employees, but there's a thing called delegation that governors do where they delegate to people uh, who gets, you're the board of governors, you oversee this. The board of governors delegate it to the university president. The university president delegates it to the AD. The AD delegates it to the coaches. The coaches delegate it to their assist. You know what I mean? There's a system.
I
And the
do.
fact that a governor of a state got involved, um, it was just completely unnecessary. And we talked a little bit about it with when Florida got involved. Santa Ono not being hired at the University of Florida. It's a bit of a government overreach. I understand they do have that power. Yes, they're the top executive in the state, but it's really, I mean, come on, there's like not more pressing problems for the people of Louisiana than the head coach at LSU at the moment.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. Here, I'm going to play this, and you guys, we'll talk about this after this audio. Really, this is like I thought it was AI. I'll be perfectly honest. So everybody, listen, and then I'm going to circle back to Moen here. I believe the audio's on. Please, in the comment section, if you don't hear audio, let us know. Okay, here we go.
The first question is absolutely correct. We are not going down a failed path. And I wanted to tell you something. This is a pattern. The guy that's here now that wrote that contract cost Texas A&M $70-something million. Right now, we got a $53 million liability. We are not doing that again. And you know what? I believe that we're going to find a great coach. I mean, maybe we'll let President Trump pick it. He loves winners. I'm not going to be picking the next coach. But I can promise you, we're going to pick a coach, and we're going to make sure that that coach is successful. And we're going to make sure that he's compensated properly. And we're going to put metrics on it. Because I'm tired of rewarding failure in this country and then leaving the taxpayers on the foot, to foot the bill. So, yeah, I absolutely. Who's that? No. I can tell you right now, Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'll let Donald Trump select it before I let him do it. I don't know, but the Board of Supervisors is going to come up with a committee, and they're going to go find us a coach. Because, wait, I want to hold on. One real quick thing on that. Because here's what y'all reporters need to do. Y'all need to start looking at who represents all these people, like these agents. You know what's interesting? If I'm not mistaken, Woodward's agent, Kelly's agent, the Texas A&M, they're all the same agent. Like, you realize if I would be, I don't know how many sports writers we got here today? Just you. We should have a bunch. Okay? Like, this is ridiculous. Lawyers would be disbarred for the way these agents act and the way they're able to represent. In fact, there's no doubt, they may even represent some of the players now. Like, it's really time for the NCAA to put on some guardrails in college sports. Because, and it's fine. We don't need the guardrails. If big billionaires want to spend all that kind of money, no problem. But if I got to go find $53 million from Kevin, it's not going to be a pleasant conversation. I'm just telling you. I know. And I think that that's important as well. Y'all should start looking into that.
So everybody should know that's the governor of Louisiana. I'm sorry, I'm spacing his first name. But that tells you how important it is, Moen, to talk about college football and, for that matter, collegiate sport athletics, and how it does matter huge to these voting publics. Sorry, that's not proper English. You get what I'm saying. That are going out and what is What is the maximum? I as a public
I
servant,
guess it
I don't know.
I guess it depends on what public you're serving, but to me, a governor getting involved in a coaching search for a college is ridiculous to me. It makes no sense whatsoever. You don't like Scott Woodward hired Jimbo Fisher. Everybody at Texas A&M was practically having epileptic orgasms when Jimbo Fisher came to College Station.
Wow, there's a comparison: epileptic and orgasm. Oh, brother.
Brian Kelly, when he came to LSU, do you remember? Everybody was celebrating what a great hire that was. You don't know.
I wasn't.
Well, people in LSU were. People in LSU were going, "Hey, this guy's been to national championship games. He gets it.
Winningest coach in Notre Dame history.
He just couldn't get it done at Notre Dame because of the standards at Notre Dame. Now he comes to LSU. We don't have those educational standards, or our standards aren't as high. He can get the players he needs. He's going to win a national championship. And 3 years later, you fire the guy. Okay, it didn't work out. It didn't work out with Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher had won a national championship at Florida State before he went to Texas A&M. Again, home run hire on day one. 3 years later, it may not be, but I don't think you can blame that wholly on the AD. I really don't. I mean, look, Brian Kelly came from a very successful program at Notre Dame. You mentioned it. He was the winningest coach at Notre Dame percentage-wise.
Which I didn't know until like just the other day.
I think.
Is that what it was? Okay.
I think Newt Rockne was still winningest.
Okay.
But
I had just heard that stat in passing.
Yeah, the guy had been to, I think, 2 national championship games at that point.
He had,
as a head coach at Notre Dame.
That's true.
And his big gripe was, I couldn't get the players I needed at Notre Dame to get over the hump. And at LSU, he could do that. And everybody at LSU was saying, wow, what a great hire. We stole the coach from Notre Dame. And now they're all screaming that Scott Woodward doesn't know what he's doing. Well, if Scott Woodward doesn't know what he's doing, you should have fired Scott Woodward. It shouldn't have been a parting of the ways. I mean,
you're right.
It's just a shit show. It's just, I mean, there's really no other way to put it. It's a shit show. You said dumpster fire again. I think it's an insult to dumpster fires.
That's being nice to dumpster fires.
Yeah, that's being nice. Dumpster fires at least put out some warmth.
Yeah, that's true.
This thing has just scared every college coach away. And I said it in the group chat, and I'll say it here publicly for the first time. John Gruden. I think John Gruden ends up at LSU because I think John Gruden
fit. He's a good
I think
fit.
John Gruden is the only coach that will take. I don't think there's a college coach right now. Like if I'm Eli Drinkwitz, I'm not taking that job. You keep that job. Dan Lanning, I'm not taking that job. I'll stay in Eugene where the grass is green, just like the cash. I mean, who would take that LSU job now that is an established college coach?
Yeah, great question.
I mean, I don't even think Urban Meyer, as desperate as he is to get back in the coaching good graces, would go to LSU.
Yeah.
I think John Gruden has mentioned before he wants to coach in the SEC. And I think he would be desperate.
Okay. All right. Laura Weiss was next in the house. Definitely moderator in chief. We appreciate you, Laura. It's great to see you representing those Texas Techians. I've tried to make that purple or plural and screwed that up. The Ramblin' Wreck. Nope, that's Georgia Tech. Red Raiders is where we're at. Wreckham Raiders. Thank you. It's great to see you here, Laura. Thank you so much. And valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. Says, hey, y'all, be back later. Can't wait to see you, Laura. You want to say shout out to Laura? Let's give a Texas Tech shout out really quick.
Yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll hit up some super chats here. So let me do this for Laura. Texas Tech, Red Raiders. Here you go. There you go.
There you go. Why don't you keep at it?
Yeah, we've got some super chats here we got to read first.
Go ahead.
Ryan Willie, Ohio State needs to defeat the hated cheaters. Yes. Nothing can bring the Big Ten together quite like Michigan being assholes. So,
Oh, brother.
here we go. Thank you, Ryan Willie. That is appreciated, Evil Badger.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate you. $5 super chat.
Moen is trick-or-treating as Wolverine, just not the Michigan one. The most out-of-shape Wolverine in history.
Let me see your knuckles. Let's see what your knuckles are. There we go. Okay.
Thank you for that, Stormy Cyclone. Let's give him a little Iowa State. That's the Iowa fight song. I'm sure he doesn't want to hear that. And then Becky Go Huskies.
Becky
is 5 memberships to the College Football Mafia.
Good to see you, Becky.
Jeffrey Bell, Pit Snipe Husker, Joe Peck, Michael Temez, and Richard L. Were all gifted memberships by our own Becky Go Huskies.
New members, baby.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Becky. Please enjoy the members-only videos that Becky has provided you. Make sure you thank her in chat. Also, let you guys know we'll have a new members-only video up this Thursday looking at the big money markets on the West Coast. So I think you should check that out, too. Be part 3 of that. Fickle was supposed to be a home run hire. Hey, I called it a home run hire. I did, Ryan. I
had questions.
I said he was going to have them in the playoffs. And now the Badgers are a shit show. Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, Ryan, how many Wisconsin fans were jumping up and down with joy that they got Fickle?
They wanted a name.
And they
wanted a name. They wanted a name. They got somebody who had just been in the news at Cincinnati. So
had been under consideration at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, all over.
So, I mean, it's hard when people talk about home run. Look, home run hires. We think these are home runs. Well, sometimes they just don't work out.
That's a fact.
I mean, listen.
Jack.
Yeah. I mean, ask Michigan. Ask Michigan about Rich Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Why settle for less when you can get rich quick? I remember that sign at a Michigan game. Why settle for less when you can get rich quick? And now if you bring up that name in Ann Arbor, they will probably stone you to death.
Maybe, quite possible.
Not in the good way. But let me
go ahead.
I know the Badgers are down. I know they're a bit of a shit show, but I still like this song when it's up tempo.
Did you just do this? Maybe I'm remembering wrong.
What's that?
Nothing. I thought you just played Wisconsin's fight song. Sorry.
No.
It was my bad. I heard wrong.
Thank you, Ryan, for the super chat.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. Let's buzz through some more. You and I told you we weren't going to need you. Between the two of us, we could do this for 4 hours. And unfortunately, my wife won't let me do that. But you and I don't need anybody else's help. Caleb Ramirez checking in. Good to have you here, Caleb, representing the Ohio State. I can't say the I's tonight. Ohio State Buckeyes. Thank you. Hi, y'all. Good to see you here, Caleb. Mr. Ed Wayner checking in. Valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. And Houston Cougar in the house. Good evening. Go Houston Cougars. Let's make it 8-1. Houston does already have one loss. Do they play? Houston plays tonight or this weekend?
I believe they do.
Okay.
I don't know who. I don't think that's in our picks.
I don't remember it being in our picks.
Yeah.
So, okay. Remind us in the comments, Ed. We're certainly not avoiding you. We just didn't have us on the top 20 or top 10 games. Otherwise, we would remember. Chris G checking in. Good to have you here, Chris. Just handed out 600 plus pieces of candy in about 1 hour. So that's 10 pieces a minute. And boy, let me ask you this. No, sorry, don't take this. You don't have any kids, right? Sorry, I just want to make sure I don't say something out of school.
Not any that I know of.
Okay, so anybody who's a parent that has kids that has to worry about candy and everything else, as a parent, I've told my kids I will go out to Walmart and buy them giant bags of candy. If that's all they want is the candy, it isn't, of course. They want the experience.
Yeah.
But is that the reason you like Halloween?
Sure, I love the experience of Halloween. Did you ever go trick or treating as a kid?
I was never a kid.
Okay.
So,
Palmer was
yeah.
born a
I've
36-year-old
always been
man
an old
apparently.
grumpus. It's not something I've ever really enjoyed.
I used to love Halloween as a kid, and I still do. I
Did you like
mean,
throwing rocks at cars and TPing houses and
no,
shaving
but I mean,
cream and
even when my niece was younger, I loved to take my niece trick or treating.
okay.
You know, living in Ohio, we would all hit up different, you know, we would plan out our beggar because they call it
Of
beggars
course. Oh
night.
yeah, your
We would
route.
plan it out. We go in this town it's Thursday, in this town it's Friday.
Right.
Then Saturday we're
Right.
going here, and if we get done soon enough, we can hit the neighborhood.
You're exactly
And
right.
you
Yep.
know, I always heard people complain about that. They're like, "Oh, these kids from outside the neighborhood come." They're kids, man. Just give them
That's the whole
candy.
point though. That
Yeah,
you can't
it's
be
just
grumbling over who the kids
just
are, where
either
they're
don't
from.
participate or
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Okay.
love the experience of Halloween.
Very fair. Steve High, Florida. Good to have you here, Steve. Steve joined me tonight or this week on my show on that was Tuesday night, right? Appreciate Steve and coming on and making a phone call. Appreciate chatting with him. The Moen brand, he says it's laughable, Moen.
I agree. Ask the guys who created Smiling Friends.
There we go. Stormy Cyclone checking in, another valuable member of the College Football Mafia family, saying hello, everyone. What's up? Other than the number of coaches being fired, Moen, you're a numbers guy. How many Division One, let's call them A4 openings, are there right this second? Do you know? That wasn't a trick question.
I don't
wasn't trying to
know.
catch you flat.
Well, LSU, we definitely know that's number one. Virginia
Right.
Tech is still an interim coach.
Penn
That's
State.
2. Penn State is number 3.
Right. Does
Oregon
Florida?
State. Well, I guess Oregon State's not A4. Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, so definitely Florida.
Not Florida State, though.
Not Florida State. Not yet.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
yet.
Okay. Trying to think, going through conferences in my head.
Yeah, Becky says there's 12 total, and I knew there was 12
Gosh.
total because the Kent State job got
That just got filled. Yeah, that
got
just
filled
got
with their
filled.
interim coach. So
Right.
Stanford, yeah, Stanford's just got a 1-year coach right now. Yeah, so
Okay.
12 in all of FBS.
Roughly 10%. That's 10%. That is just
We ain't
under.
even through the season.
No, we're not. It's week 10. Ah, that's crazy. If you include week 0, we're talking, and how much money, and we don't have to answer it this second, but how many hundreds of millions of dollars are coaches being paid just to not coach? That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Clint Moses checking in, representing the Oregon State Beavers. Not liking Halloween. What a party pooper. Yep, that's me. I admit it. Old man dresses up as old man for Halloween. You could not be more right. I almost just in fact, this is essentially what I wear every day. So
I was gonna say this is what he wore his first day of school.
that's right. Yeah, I'm not any different. I am a grumpus. I'm the first one to admit it. Let's try to get through a few more of these. Rock and Rant, representing the Rock and Rant at the College Football Express. Good to have you here, Rock. Make sure you tell Flo, Miami Flo, that is. We said hi. Happy Halloween, you weenies. I'm sure he's talking to you, right?
I'm talking to you.
I'm sure he's talking to me. Conundrum, looking forward to some duck a la black and gold in 8 days. Remind me what that is, please.
Conundrum is a Iowa Hawkeye, and they play the
Okay.
Oregon Ducks in 8 days. So Hawk
Okay.
versus Duck, and you know, Oregon's been kind of I don't want to say let down, but
Underwhelming.
underwhelming. Underwhelming is a good
Underwhelming.
word for it. Thank you.
Yeah, underwhelming. I mean, it doesn't mean they don't go out and just win the national championship. We're not saying that,
Well,
but they have definitely been underwhelming.
sure.
There's no doubt about it. Ruckerant, just to follow up with his earlier comment, is it fair to say that LSU crap show is as big as the buyout, toilet, and money?
Well, they negotiated or they didn't negotiate it.
I
I
don't
guess they
think
kind of did. It was something with morals clause, but nobody's been able to explain that.
is that it has
Yeah,
been settled.
that's how they lowered the payout to Brian Kelly.
Okay. Okay.
There's something in the morals clause, but they never explained what Kelly did. So who
Okay.
knows? Who knows?
All right.
It was a negotiated buyout.
Ryan Will, I know you got to this. I just don't want to miss it. Ohio State needs to defeat the hated cheaters.
That's right. And if you listened to Greg's show last night, Michigan's not made any friends in the Big Ten, and Ohio State now has a whole lot of them.
Boy, that's hard to believe. If you would have said that 2 years ago, people would have been thinking you were lying or making it up, or that's crazy. Let's see here. Jose checking in. Good to see you, Jose. I thought Fickle was the right choice too, and that means also Turbs out. It's the AD that failed.
You know, I don't think you can place it all on the AD. I think Fickle failed, and I you know, I've brought it up several times. I've talked to Ryan Willie about it a lot. I think Fickle came in trying to change what didn't need to change. And I think it completely backfired on him. And once he realized that, he wanted to go back to the way it was. And then he realized, oh, I changed everything. So now it's going to be another complete makeover to get back to the way it was. So I've got to put some blame on the athletic director for continuing to employ him, but I also got to put blame on Fickle for not being successful on what he wanted to do.
All right, very good. Joe Peck in the house, member of the College Football Mafia family, says, thank you, Becky. Go Huskies. Joe Peck is a new member. Moen read his name. What's that? Say again.
Yeah, it's a new member. We opened the books. He's a made man now.
There we go. Opening the books. Yes, sure. Hall of Fame of college football. That would be Jason Watkins in the house representing the Oklahoma Sooners. And gentlemen, good to see you. Appreciate you, Jason. I hope everything's going well for you and your family by extension. Sean checking in saying the Halloween parties.
Yeah,
that's an exclamation point, not a question.
Mm-hmm. Halloween parties. I mean, just down the road from me in Athens, there used to be some legendary, call in the National Guard Halloween parties.
Woof. Okay.
Yes, you can look it up.
All right.
Anybody from Ohio, you can tell you about the old school Halloween parties there in Athens. They were massive. Okay. They were nuts. They were crazy. Athens Ohio State is the flagship university. The party university in the state of Ohio is in Athens. It's Ohio.
Athens, Ohio?
Yeah, Athens, Ohio. That's where Ohio University is.
Okay. All right. That's the Ohio Bobcats you're talking about.
Yep, Ohio Bobcats.
Okay. All right. Very good. A few more, and then we will get to our picks. Skaven, yes. Go Big Red. Checking in, valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. Kids go to areas that are safe. I certainly hope they try to do that. Growing up, it was a very real place, though, where it seemed like every year there were razor blades and there were people that drove around in cars haunting kids. I don't know if that happens anymore, Moen. You might be more checked in on that than I never am,
but we heard the stories about the razor blades, but I've never experienced or seen any legitimacy to that.
It happened in the Tri-Cities.
Yeah,
I worked for a TV station, and I can promise. Well, believe me, don't believe me. I know for a fact it happened. So.
Yeah, it never happened anywhere here in Ohio that I can recall. But
all right.
It's like the same thing where they say they're giving them weed candy, and I said, well, if they're giving them weed candy, tell me where they're giving this out at, because weed candy is way too expensive to be given out on Halloween.
Okay. All right. So I'm quickly just going to run through these. Stormy says there's 8 open. We already talked about there's actually around, well, yeah, A4.
He's talking about the A4, I believe.
Total is 8 in the A4.
In the
12,
A4.
12 is everybody.
Total in the FBS.
Right. Stormy just wanted to reemphasize some of these. Stanford, OSU, that would be Oregon State.
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. My bad.
Mhm.
You're right. Well, wait a second. Oregon State's looking for a coach too, aren't they?
They are, but
They both
but we
are.
can't classify them as A4.
Okay, fair enough. Skaven yes says Virginia Tech.
Yep.
Laura says Arkansas and Oklahoma State. Just as a little sideline, there was a rumor, and I still haven't had it confirmed by anybody who actually witnessed it, that Arkansas booster plane flew into Provo, Utah to go and talk to fill in your coach here. If I was any program looking for the best coach available, in my opinion, it would be Jay Hill. And I'm going to knock on wood because I don't want to lose him, but he's the defensive coordinator at BYU. And hopefully he never goes anywhere, but if he ends up going someplace, you're getting a steal. That's all I can tell you. Huge character guy. Laura Weiss says Arkansas and Oklahoma State. Stormy says Florida. Let's see here. Another one from Jose really quick. My kids did trick or treat at their school. That's something that started happening when my kids, when we moved to Utah, trunk or treat became a thing. Let's see here. Trunk or treat at the church. They already have enough candy. Yeah. The candy I hate candy. Skaven yes says UCLA. I wouldn't call that an A4 opening, but whatever. Let's see here. OP Don checking in. It's been a minute, OP. It's good to see you tonight. Valuable member, OG member of the College Football Mafia family. OP says, folks asked me what I was going as today, and I said straight white guy, as it seems that's the scariest thing. I'm not going to touch that. Moen's not going to touch that. We're going to move right along. Rock and Rant says Bomber is a pain.
Thank you for the pun. Very good. Very nicely done.
Rock knows what he's doing. And we're going to stop there. Okay. That was the fastest 52 minutes. We've had fast 50 minutes before. That was about the fastest we've ever had. So we're not going to dwell on anything else. We're going to jump right into records. So this last week was week 9, right?
Yes, this is the results for last week.
Okay. And again, Daniel continues to extend his lead. I was 6-4. You was 6-4. Moen 4-6. Rock 6-4. Becky 7-3. Don't call it a comeback. Pickles 6-4. And as I said, Daniel extends his lead. So it's Daniel, and then it's Becky and I. So before we move on to our picks for this week, what stands out about these records from last week, Moen?
Well, look, Daniel Gygax is consistently 6 wins or better. I don't think he's had a week where he's been 5-5.
You talking about Daniel?
Daniel Gygax, yeah. Okay. I think Gygax has just crushed it.
He's played very well. Yeah.
We've all had down weeks except Daniel. Like I'm 4-6. This is my first sub 500 week. But I mean, you is basically, this is Utes first, I believe, above 500 week.
It is.
He's consistently been 5-5.
Yep.
So Daniel says he went 5-5 once. Okay, Daniel.
Okay.
But you went 7-3 consistently. I don't think he's ever done better than 7-3, but he just hit 7-3 so consistently. I think you still got the best individual week which was the week before this when you
8-2.
went 8-2,
Yeah,
which let you get up and catch up and gain a lot of ground on
it
me.
did. I was right around 50. Yeah,
Right. So,
I
I
dug
mean, but
myself a hole.
look, I mean, Daniel Gygax, man, sometimes I might look at his pick and say, I'm just going to pick what Daniel picks.
There you
And
go.
it seems
There
to
you
work.
go. Since it's on our own Discord, we get to cheat. You don't have to pick. You could wait until the last minute. I don't do that.
Yes,
In
please don't
fact,
do that.
I don't think I don't think I know I've never done that. I can't speak for the rest of y'all. But a 5-game lead, we would have to do an all evens from last year. Obviously, last year I won by, I would say, a little bit of a margin. Five wins ahead at going into week 10.
He's going to be hard to
That's fake
catch.
pick 'em, right?
Yeah. He's going to be really hard to catch. He's going to have to make some tremendously bad decisions on his picks to not win this thing.
I agree. Daniel, keep at it. You're doing good. Look, I'm coming for you. I don't surrender anything. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm working really hard. I want to catch you. I agree with Moen, though. You have just been consistently, certainly 6-4. I think he's had some 5-5 weeks.
He's had one
hasn't he?
5-5. I think every
Okay.
other time he's been. I think there was one 6-4 as well, but 7-3. He is pretty consistent 70% picker, which is pretty good.
It is really good. For those that don't make picks normally, just off the back of a napkin, I can tell you right now, picking against the spread, especially, is not easy to do. So I salute Daniel. Let's give him a West Virginia sounder.
Let's see. You know what? Let's give him one of these.
Okay.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.
Oh, South Park. So not South Park. Sorry, Simpsons. Very, very good. Homers, the absolute best. Before we go on to picks, have I missed any super chats? Did we get to this Ryan Willie one? Fickle was supposed to be
We
a
did.
home run. Okay.
Mhm.
I just want to make sure we didn't miss anything. And then one comment, and then we're going to get to this week's picks. Skaven Yes says, okay, Nathan, talking to me. What's your resistance to UCLA? I just think UCLA, it's maybe it's not even arguable, has probably more money that could be fed into that program from Hollywood, from billionaire tycoons, from all these other things, and for them to consistently be 60-40, 65-35, they continue to underperform. And you can give your opinion, Moen, but for me, I think UCLA should be leaving people in the dust with the access they have to resources, time, material, a stadium, for heaven's sakes, the Rose Bowl, and yet they easily are the least performing university in the country when it comes to meeting expectations.
Yeah, and I mean, I would definitely recommend you guys go back and check out the take that we did on Wednesday with myself and Becky and Sergeant Pickles.
Right.
Becky covered what a sleeping giant UCLA is. And we had to go back.
Sleeping
Josh
giant,
Rosen.
I love that.
Josh Rosen is when you have to go back to the last time that UCLA was really successful, and they fired that coach despite being successful.
They did. How long ago was that? Remind me when Josh Rosen was.
We said it was like 2010, 2011.
Oh my
so
gosh,
it's been
15 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
That's incredible. All right. That's the records last week, and certainly as we lead into now what's going into week 10. And there's some good picks in here. You guys can argue agree, disagree. But from a team perspective, this was one of the funner weeks to pick in the college football mafia family. So let's get to these right away. And we're going to start with very first. Vandy is getting 1.5 at Texas. I took Vanderbilt, and I'm going to stay until you prove me wrong. I'm going to continue to pick with Vanderbilt. They've done a fantastic job this year. Ute's not here, so why don't you tell everybody why Texas wins this game?
It's at Texas, and I think that just the talent quotient is just so much heavier on Texas's side.
Oh, for sure. Yep, I get
and
that.
I'm going to keep picking against Vanderbilt because I don't like Vanderbilt's attitude.
So it's an emotional pick.
It
You're
is.
not picking. Okay,
Like,
that's fair.
I hate Texas. I'm not rooting for Texas, but I am rooting against Vanderbilt.
Hey, man, whatever it takes. You don't have to justify your pick and the reason why. I think it's easy. It's easy to either. I mean, Texas is the Yankees, so you support Texas. You don't support them. They don't care. Texas doesn't need you anyway. So not much to dive into there. I think that was really quick. That's all we have to say. Penn State, and I want to make sure I get this right, is getting 20.5 points at Ohio State. Let's say 7 weeks ago, what would that spread have been?
Yeah, 7 weeks ago, this would have been a 3.5 point spread.
Tell everybody why.
Ohio State would have been favored. But this was a game, and I put this on here because I thought, Penn State still has good defensive players out there on the field. So 20.5 is a lot of points to ask for against the Penn State defense. But what can you say? You lose to Oregon in a fashion that you've become used to.
Yep.
And then you lose to UCLA and Northwestern. So it's going to be rough for anybody to pick Penn State moving forward, but I thought maybe 20.5. I thought maybe somebody here would take Penn State.
You were being enticing. You were sitting there saying, "See, can I get
20.5 points? That's a lot. That's 3 touchdowns you're picking Ohio State to win by. So over a team that would be considered a blue blood, just like Ohio State. So."
Boy, oh boy, I cannot justify Penn State at all. Penn State, everybody knows I'm a super fan of the brand and everything about Penn State outside of a blip we won't talk about. It is Penn State, and yet at the end of the year, that team has quit on the coaching staff and it's quit on the university. And if I'm a fan of Penn State, I'm beside myself what has happened to my school in less than 6 months.
Yeah this was a team that a lot of people would pick to be national championship contenders, and here
I
they
had
are
them up there with Clemson.
Here they are, 3 touchdown underdogs.
There is no patience in modern day college football, even basketball for that matter. No patience. You might be given a half season, if a half season. Obviously at Penn State, you're not given any leeway. So you better win or you're going to be watching from way far away from the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Now, Texas Tech is giving Kansas State 8.5. It's at Kansas State. Tech has everything to play for. You could say Kansas State. I don't know. John Kurtz isn't here, so I'm not sure how he would express his feeling about Kansas State right now. But boy, Texas Tech. I can't even imagine them losing this game.
Well, it's tough. It's 8.5, so they got to win by 10.
I skipped the Utah game. I'm sorry. I'll get
to
that.
You did. I was going to mention that, but
my eyes just jump past it.
Yeah, it's 9. I'm sorry. They've got to win by 9. But I mean, that's still a hell of a spread. And Kansas State last week dominated Kansas.
They did.
Just outright dominated them. But you never know what Kansas State is the bipolar rock and rollers, man. You never know what team's showing up.
2 years in a row now.
Yeah, I mean, is Avery Johnson going to ball out or bail out? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm going with Texas Tech. Just the quality of talent on the roster. They've got a lot more to play for too. I think there is a sense of urgency now. in Lubbock now that they've let that one game slip.
And I love the way you put that, and that's perfect, the way that you said those words together. Let that one slip. There is a zero margin for error for basically anybody that's not a blue blood. We're talking about brands that have won national championships in the last 2 decades. There is zero tolerance for losing and letting games go. And I absolutely took the points. I think Tech wins, but that cover, 8.5, that is a lot. And it's
It
at
is.
Kansas State.
Yeah.
All right. It wasn't on purpose. Just all Utah fans, my eyes literally jumped. Don't, I have no reason to tell you a tall tale. My eyes jumped one line. At the end of the day, Cincinnati, talking about things to play for, is getting 7.5 at Utah. Utah, they're still numerically in the Big 12 race. Right now, Kyle Whittingham is playing for his legacy, it seems like now. And I wish Ute was here for this one game. But I think Cincinnati's pretty good. And I think Colorado, the bottoms fall out. So I don't put much stock in that loss last week. Colorado at Utah. But Utah's got all kinds of momentum. They did beat the hell out of Colorado last week, and they do have things to play for. I just think Cincinnati has bigger things to play for.
And Cincinnati's got momentum too, Bomber. I wouldn't count out the Bearcats.
Sure.
What really gets me, 7.5.
Yeah.
That is a terrible spread if you're a Utah fan.
Utah and why
may
is that?
win this.
Tell everybody
Utah
why.
7.5. That's you have to win by a touchdown plus.
Yeah.
A lot of games you don't see finish with a touchdown plus.
Yeah.
It's usually one score finishes, especially when they're two evenly matched teams like this. Cincinnati's got momentum. Utah's got some momentum. They are going into Rice Eccles, but
they are
7.5. Don't be shocked if Utah wins and those of us who picked Cincinnati win because of that 7.5.
How do I describe how I feel about this? I already sort of prefaced it a little bit. I think Utah right now, I don't think it's overstated to say this is a legacy game. If Utah, the third or fourth year in a row, comes in and supposedly this is the best roster Kyle Whittingham has ever had, the best offense, they actually brought an offense to play with the defense, all these things that Utah is trying to prove and reprove to the world. And yet Cincinnati's pretty good. I think Cincinnati's much better. I think Cincinnati's better than Utah is better. They're both good. Utah at home, I personally know it's a difficult place to win, but right now Cincinnati has so much more to play for, in my opinion. And you're a Bearcat lover, corner of the world, and I mean, is it overstating it to say this is something that at Cincinnati they could start building a legacy for themselves on this game?
Well, they can certainly start building a legacy this season just by winning.
That's what I meant.
Not just this game, but I mean, I thought the Scott Satterfield hire was a terrible hire. They brought him in from Louisville. When Louisville brought in Jeff Brom, I thought that was a terrible hire. Turns out I was wrong about that, just like it was Fickle leaving Cincinnati. So
yeah.
Satterfield has done an excellent job there with that program. They're winning. All they got to do is keep winning, make the Big 12 title game. The only loss Bearcats have is to Nebraska by a 7-point score.
It will be fascinating to see how this game turns out. Absolutely fascinating. Nothing is given. And it's definitely must-see TV in my opinion. If Utah loses,
Okay.
no, I'm saying if Utah loses,
Mhm.
what does that mean?
Well, I don't think it's not like they're losing to a terrible team.
I'm not saying that. Yeah, I'm not
They're
saying that.
they're losing to a very talented team, and
Yeah.
this is a building season, I think, for Whittingham. If he stays there, I think he will. I think he's going to come back for one more year.
Interesting.
The new kid, Bird Ficklin, which I still think is a ridiculous name, but
Bear Bachmeyer. I mean, let's
yeah.
go.
We got bears and birds and lions
Yeah.
and tigers and cougars, and
So,
it's just kind of crazy. But I don't think I'm not going to paint Kyle Whittingham's entire career based off the last 2 to 3 seasons.
well, you shouldn't. Certainly. I mean, decades overstays even the last 3-4 years. But I think this is a situation. If Kyle sticks around, he's probably going to lose his defensive coordinator. I wouldn't stick around for another year. Just a backstop. Is it this year? Is it the next year? Is it the year after? Now it's his team, it's his university, it's his alma mater. I would defer to him. Certainly, as somebody that's in state and grown up around the Utah football program, I will just tell you this: if Kyle sticks around another year, he might lose more than one coach. He might not only lose his DC. He might lose, your defensive backs coach itself.
Sure.
You might lose your OC, who's only been there now, not even a full year. Yeah, I don't know. Morgan Scally, if you can get paid to be a big DC at LSU, last year he turned down money at UCLA. There was a couple other opportunities that he's had in the last couple of years. If Kyle sticks around for another year, what's the difference between sticking around one more year and sticking around for the next decade? To me, it's all the same.
Fair enough.
Okay. Virginia is giving 4.5 at Cal. Why
No,
did this?
Virginia is favored by 4.5 at Cal.
Okay, thank you for correcting me. So it's Virginia. I want to be very clear. I couldn't understand why you'd have Cal on here for any way, shape, or form, but certainly Virginia, talk about something to prove. The basketball schools coming out to win football games. I mean, I took Virginia. I think Virginia's pretty good, and I think, again, I don't know how you can't say from year to year Cal every year. It's like Cal and UCLA, but I don't know. You took Cal.
I took Cal, and I think Cal wins this game outright. I really don't want to. Elliott has done a fantastic job at the University of Virginia. Great team. I've loved watching some of the ends of their games this year. Just really exciting stuff. But look, Virginia is going to Cal. They have to fly over all those time zones to go play a football game. I think Cal is a lot better than most of us expected them to be. And I think Cal probably wins this game by a field goal at least. But I think
which is
Cal,
essentially a touchdown then.
Well, yeah, Cal basically wins. I think Cal wins clean. I think Virginia picks up another loss.
Interesting. I tell you what, if you're a Big 12 fan, you definitely are cheering for Cal. I'm just saying.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a Miami fan, you're cheering for Cal.
Oh, don't. That's painful. That's Miami. I love Miami so much, and it just sucks every. Come on, Rock, get out there. You got to do something. Make that bigger, stronger, faster.
Let's hit a couple super chats here real quick before we jump to the next page.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame college football with Jason Watkins.
Jason.
heading to Knoxville for the Sooners versus the Volunteers. That's coming up on our next
Sweet.
page, Jason.
That's awesome.
With the new mobile studio. Wow, he's got some high-tech stuff there, doesn't he?
That's awesome, Jason.
Yeah, get some internet money for that, man.
Internet makes
I hope so.
Give us some of that money. Yeah.
New mobile
Give us internet
studio.
money.
We'll have to check that out, Jason. Make sure if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe over on Jason's channel, Hall of Fame College Football.
Hall of Fame College Football. Jason Watkins.
Penn State offense is a struggle. No Aller. It's a long day at the shoe. I think with the way Aller played this season, outside of those last few minutes in the Oregon game, I think it still would have been a long day. But
who is the backup quarterback at Penn? Penn State. I don't even know.
I can't think of the guy's name.
Okay, that tells you everything you need to know right there.
Yeah, the backup at Penn State.
Because Aller was a 5-star, right?
Yeah, well, the backup at Penn State was the starter at Mizzou, who went down with an injury last week. So,
yeah, that's brutal.
Let's give Becky a little of the Washington.
Yeah, please.
Siren.
Let's go. Let's go.
Thank
Huskies.
you, Becky, for the super chat.
Dun, 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 dun.
And then I want to get to this comment from Rock and Rant.
Sure.
This is a little bit of breaking news. Rhett Lashley and SMU are finalizing a 2-year extension and raise to make him one of the top 10 highest paid coaches in the country. Sources tell Yahoo Sports. Thanks for letting us know that, Rock.
Yeah, thank you, Rock. Certainly, you're looking at SMU, who, still climbing. They had several breaks they got last year that got them into the CFP. I think those loopholes are going to start closing, though. So if you're SMU, you better actually start winning some games and not just re-extending your football coach, which I think this is the third time in 2 years or something. They're begging him to stick around. So we'll have to see. But thanks, Rock, for the update. We really appreciate it, and it's great to see you. I hope you have a great weekend if we don't talk to you a little bit later. Okay.
Speaking of Miami and SMU, off the bat, Miami is favored by 11.5. They are at SMU. I am absolutely shocked that everybody picked Miami. All season when I've put SMU on here, you and Pickles have picked SMU, and I didn't understand it, and I'd scratch my head, and then I would lose the game, and you guys would win. I can't believe that nobody took SMU getting 11.5 points at home.
I think we're picking with the spread there. I don't think any of us were picking for SMU, but whatever. At the end of the day, Miami, again, talk about teams that have to win. They already gave one game away. Miami cannot do that again. So do you want to say anything else before I move on to Louisville?
We all took Miami, but with Carson Beck, I don't know about Miami, man.
That's what we thought going into the season. We thought he was going to be a turnover machine, and to start the season, he played well.
He played well, and then he had that game against Louisville.
He did.
He couldn't stop throwing interceptions.
That's true.
And I don't know if it's a mental thing with him. Once he throws one, it just completely discombobulates him, and he's just going to keep throwing interceptions. But there you go.
Well, let's go. Come on, Hurricanes. And by the way, prayers out, talking about hurricanes, to all those in the Caribbean, Jamaica, et al., all those islands down there. We like to have fun around here and everything, but certainly you are the top of our heads when it comes to praying for you and your families. Hopefully you guys can continue and get better support than you've received up to now, and all those families that have been without power, without water for now a couple days, or it might even have been longer. Time goes by so fast. certainly with me, and I guess I'll let Moen speak for himself. You have been at the top of my thought list. I feel so bad, and those people that live on those islands, you have nowhere to go, and so I know there's a lot of people, especially a lot of people around here in the state of Utah, that are praying for the people in those island city states.
There you go. Evening all, dad duty calls, but go dogs.
I
Let's
love
get
it,
a little bit of a
Pickles.
dog sound effect in here.
Sure, go ahead.
I don't
Thank
think
you.
that's really a husky, but
That
it's
didn't sound
close
like a
enough.
husky to me, but I appreciate it. Good to see you, Pickles. Okay. Now let's jump back into Louisville. Sorry, let me do a quick reset. Just everybody just take a deep breath here. Let me get this off here so we're not distracted. There we go. Everybody, we're now what 60-80 minutes into the show. Make sure you subscribe to the channel at the College Football Mafia. Make sure you are following Moen and I on Twitter. Certainly the Wild Ute and the rest of the team. Do whatever you can to become a member of the College Football Mafia family. And Moen, how do they go about doing that?
Sure, you can click that little cash icon below in the chat window. From there, you can become a member, gift a membership, leave a super chat like Sergeant Pickles just did, leave a super sticker. Those all help the channel out. As Bomber already mentioned, it's free if you would just give us a like, a subscribe, share us with your friends. If you're watching on a mobile device, make sure you hit that hype button. That is a new feature on YouTube designed to help small creators like us reach a wider audience. And we would love for you to hit that as well.
Thank you so much, Moen. Appreciate that. And everybody, just know that when we come here for you. We're not coming here for ourselves. Yeah, we have fun and whatnot, but we try to track the news. We certainly track the fandom of collegiate athletics, but especially during the fall, it is college football, and we appreciate everybody being here, spending some time with us on a Friday night. We're very grateful to you. Okay. Now let's get to next games. We already did Miami SMU. The next one, and I'm just going to say this right out, Louisville, I had in the ACC championship game. I wanted LSU, and I've always wanted not LSU, Louisville to win. I like Louisville a lot. But they're giving 10.5 to Virginia. That is a scary number. I will just let everybody know. Talk about another school that has been down is Virginia Tech. But I'm comfortable giving those points. In fact, all three of us took them just to buy Virginia Tech to the rest of the College Football Mafia family, Moen.
It's at home in points. That's the only way I can justify it. I think Louisville's a far better team than Virginia Tech this season. Obviously, Virginia Tech wasn't happy with where they were at. They fired their head coach. The kids had quit on him.
Yes.
I don't think that all of the kids have bought in on the interim. So I like Louisville, but I can see where Rock and Pickles are looking at it and going, it's at Virginia Tech. It's over 10 points. You know, Louisville basically has to win this game by a touchdown, a field goal, and one more point.
That's a lot. Boy, oh boy.
That's a lot
to cover. I would just say I think Louisville now has a chance to flip the script again, to get back on top of the storyline. And at the end of the day, the one member of the College Football Mafia family that actually has a vested interest in all of this is Rock. And it's interesting to me that he took Vatek. So and maybe he knows something we don't know, Moen.
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay. Very good. Let's see. Florida giving 7.5. Sorry, Georgia giving 7.5 to Florida at Florida.
Right. But this isn't.
It's going to be next year.
This is actually in Jacksonville.
Okay,
this
so
this is the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. It's a rivalry game. They play it in Jacksonville every year. It's just like the Red River. They play it in Jacksonville.
Didn't that used to be Between the Hedges? Isn't that what it used to be called?
No, it's always been, as far as I know, it's always been called.
What was the one Between the Hedges? That's Clemson and.
That's Georgia and Auburn. I think that's Georgia and Auburn.
Okay. All right. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, but this game
Where
is
the
played in
matchup.
Jacksonville, but Florida is considered the home team this year. Next
Okay.
year, Georgia would be the home team, even though it's in Jacksonville. But Rock is the only one who seems to think Florida's got a chance in this game. I think Rock at this point is just trying to catch up with people. And
Maybe.
maybe he's making some crazy picks because I don't see any way that Georgia does not win and cover over this Florida team.
Can we do something just going in the rest of the season and not pick any more Florida games? There have to be better matchups going forward. Now, BYU's got a bye week.
Listen,
Ohio
this
State's
is a
coming off a
rivalry.
bye week.
It's a rivalry game. It's important that we
Yeah,
include
those are
rivalry games.
important.
Weird shit happens in rivalry games.
Yeah.
Florida could win this. I don't think they will. Rock
Okay.
seems to think so. But
Yeah.
I'm including it because it's a rivalry game. I try and mix up and get as many conferences in there as possible. This is one of the marquee SEC games this weekend.
Okay. All right. Hopefully those will start to dwindle away. I don't want to pick Florida or have Florida on here from a relevant perspective. There have to be moving forward better games, but I guess we'll have to see it goes week to week.
Yeah, the only reason this is on here is it's a rivalry game.
Well, and BYU's it's a bye week, so okay. South Carolina is getting 12.5 at Ole Miss. None of us took Carolina, and I think in maybe September, yeah, pretty sure still in September, you might have had a toss-up, Carolina versus Ole Miss.
I was very close to taking South Carolina here.
Yeah, Carolina. Go ahead.
Last week we saw them. They played Alabama tough.
Yeah.
They just fumbled it away, quite literally, in the fourth quarter. Ole Miss, we saw Ole Miss. They were able to kind of shake off that late game loser reputation they had developed last week against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But I mean, 12.5 points is a lot of points.
It is.
And we're basically saying Ole Miss is going to win by 2 touchdowns.
Carolina has been so underwhelming, though. I mean,
they've been hit or miss. I mean, last week you watched them play Alabama. They played Alabama really tough.
Right.
And, I think Alabama's got an argument to be one of the better teams in the country, if not the best team in the country. So,
okay.
I was very close to picking South Carolina. If this would have been 13 or 14.5, I would have taken South Carolina probably.
Or if it was at Carolina.
Or if it was at South Carolina, yes.
Yeah. I didn't even pause when I saw it was at Ole Miss. But unfortunately, and this goes to the bettors out there, if I've picked with you and Ole Miss, that's probably not a good thing for you. Because every time I get on the Ole Miss train, invariably Lane does something stupid or his defense drops the ball and they're not able to cover, let alone win. So, yeah. You want to say anything else about it before we move on to the last game? Okay.
No, we'll move on.
Okay. All right. Let's take this last game and then we will wrap up the picks and try to get into comments because I know it's already been 90 minutes. It's just crazy how fast these evenings go. But Oklahoma is getting 3.5 at Tennessee. I said, look, I'm an Oklahoma Sooner fan in general. And I like Tennessee. Certainly have to respect Tennessee. I just this year, I just think Oklahoma's going to win outright. So,
okay.
I know Jason's just hanging around, but Tennessee, I continue to think is overrated. So you pick Tennessee. Tell the world why I'm wrong.
Well, this is at Ohio Stadium South. This is at Rocky Top. I think that gives Tennessee a very distinct advantage. 3.5 points. That gave me a little pause at 0.5 point. I hate it when they do that.
Did it really?
Yeah, okay. Oh man, because I mean, Tennessee has to win by basically a touchdown.
Right? Yeah.
It's not often that you're going to see 2 field goals or a field goal and a safety or or he's some,
Right.
some crazy like that. But it's at Tennessee. I got to give it to Tennessee. That stadium is one of the most raucous stadiums in America.
Talking about Lane.
No, I'm talking about Neyland Stadium.
Oh,
Or as we,
Neyland. That's the name. Thank
or
you.
as we
Yep,
call
thank
it in
you.
Columbus, Ohio Stadium South.
Okay. Okay.
Because they thought it would be funny before
Yeah.
our playoff game last year to change the name to Neyland Stadium North of the shoe. And that
Right.
didn't work out too well for them. So,
Okay. All right.
but I like Tennessee here. I do think Tennessee wins by a touchdown.
Well, there you go. And Jason, I'm an Oklahoma Sooner fan. You know that, and I think Oklahoma's going to win outright. Just because I've said it all year, I think Tennessee has been overrated. So, they are a blue blood, so you can't you can't take history from them. But I just think Oklahoma. I don't know. Between you and I, when does that whole thing with Mateer ever get settled, or are we going to be topsy-turvy the rest of the season?
Now, he looked good last week.
Not too bad.
Parts of last week, I should say.
Yeah, he wasn't perfect. I don't know. I got nothing to add to that. You want to add anything else to that?
No, those are our picks for the week. I'm sorry it's a down week
Okay.
for everybody, but this was good. This was supposed to be an up week for everybody. I mean, Florida, Georgia was expected to be a great game. South Carolina, Ole Miss was expected to be a great game, and it just didn't work out.
So before we get to anything else, thank you, by the way, everybody, for your super chats. Thanks for being involved, having comments with us. We absolutely love this. Is the picking part of the show is certainly something we look forward to. Before we get off the picks and we actually start getting into comments, Moen, what is the one thing that you would look for coming out of this week? You say yours, I'll say mine, then we'll move along.
I don't expect anything significant to happen this week. I think the winners win. And I think, we got to look forward to our college football playoff rankings.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That is next week. The very first CFP rankings come out next Tuesday. I'm doing a show on Tuesday night. Part of it is I do have an odds maker is going to come on. I can't remember his name. It's not the one I've had in the past. Give me 1 second. See if I can recall his name. Just give me 30 seconds here. Where is it at? And I've already lost it. Anyway, it's not the picker that I've had in the past. This is a new picker. In fact, here I can get it off my texts. Let's see here. I just want to get his first name, if at all possible. Luke Ritchie is who gives us our connections. And I'm trying to see if Luke gave me a first name. No, he's a writer. He is a writer, though, of college football for ESPN, or used to write for ESPN. It's not Rafael Esparza. That's who I've had in the past. But we should do something Tuesday night just for the picks, Mo. And I do this guest thing isn't until 9 p.m. Eastern. So I was going to ask you live on the air, see if I can pin you down. What do you think about doing a first CFP pick show on Tuesday night? And we start early. We start at 7 Eastern.
I don't know that I'm going to be available Tuesday.
Okay.
But I'm certain like Daniel Gygax might be available to
Well, I'm definitely going to do it.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm definitely doing it. So I'm not ruling
and then do
anybody out.
Do some call-ins afterwards.
Yes. Yeah, there'll be call-ins. Like I said, it'll be the live draw, so everybody gets to see where everybody starts. And then at 9 Eastern, I will have a guest. Sorry, I don't know his name, but he was a writer for ESPN. And then call-ins to talk about where your school is or isn't in the rankings. Any thoughts as we go into the last weekend, really, before we have formal, really anything in college football?
Again, I don't think it's going to be anything earth-shattering. I think we're going to see the CFP draws. Everybody's going to pretty much go, yep, sounds right. You're going to have some people who are going to argue over positions and jockeying the positions. But the big interesting thing will be they now use that enhanced criteria that the SEC wanted them to use.
Which I mentioned on Tuesday night. Not sure if you covered it Wednesday.
We didn't. We just covered coaching carousel stuff on Wednesday. But yeah, the SEC has new metrics. Excuse me, metrics is what they were.
The CFP does.
The CFP does. These new metrics were introduced by the SEC.
Yeah, and you keep talking. I'm going to see if I can find that message that we can actually define those. Keep going. I'm looking.
I'll do a little comments here. Dave's here.
Okay,
the agents' phones are smoking, waiting for return calls for that raise.
That's fact for sure.
That's probably true. Probably a bunch of coaches tonight are getting that raise. He said he did 3 typhoons in Guam. No good. Yeah, I've never had to be in one.
No, that's horrible.
Maybe
and
the
prayers
USC,
again to your families.
Yeah, maybe the USC Nebraska game instead. But neither of them are ranked. That's I try and get as many ranked in there as I can, but
I think you do a good job. It's hard to pick these games, everybody. It's not like you just throw a dart and pick them. You have to pick by their ranking, by how they're performing on the field. It's not super easy.
I use FanDuel a lot too. I will be honest. I use FanDuel and what FanDuel features as their 10 best games. Becky says we should pick nothing but bad games one week.
We can't waste a week like that, Becky. There's only 14 weeks in the season.
Well, hey, that might be a way to catch up with Daniel. Maybe we should consider that.
What do you mean? Tell me
if we all pick bad games, maybe Daniel's good at picking good games.
Saying.
Maybe he'll be bad at picking bad games.
Maybe. I guess that's a possibility. At the end of the day, though, the picks that we try to put out, we need to understand that they're not in a silo. They all touch each other.
Yes,
in the friendly way.
Because of this CFP, we're going to find that out because of the CFP this week.
Yes, that's exactly right. And those will stand out. At the end of the day, they will stand out. Okay, here it is. I found it. See, I'm pretty good. And when I bookmark stuff, I'm pretty good at recalling it. So give me 1 second here. Let me bring it up. So everybody knows the new criteria. And they're not it's new old criteria. Because it's always been there. It's just people didn't always give it credit where credit's due. Okay, so let me see here. Share this tab instead. Add to stage. Let me get this off here. Okay, so Moen already mentioned it. I'll quickly, and let me post the link. So everybody, we always give credit where credit's due. You're welcome to look it up. This is from Chris Vanini. It just happened to be the one I bookmarked. I'm sure pretty much all reporters that or anybody probably came across it, but this is the one I picked. So last year, the SEC bitched and moaned about 3 of their best brands being left out of the CFP. And they complained about all the different metrics and the whys the SEC is so much better. And so they leaned, and where it was subjective, then it went to the consensus, and then they went to the group picking, then it went to isolation picking, back and forth, left and right. This is something that they've thrown together trying to, again, it has nothing to do with the Big 12, the ACC, or the Big 10. This is the SEC picking the cherry picking the best stats they can to try to get the most of their teams in as possible. For those that can't read and all you can do is hear me, and I know that you're out there. I'll just read this from Chris Vanini. Some college football playoff selection adjustments, just adjustments. New strength of schedule metric. It didn't say the strength of schedule metric. It said new strength of schedule metric. Be very clear. Strength of record metric. Again, based on whose picks. Open question. Reaffirm that teams won't play, and this is one you should sit off, Mo, and I want your opinion. I didn't have it on Tuesday night. This is where I want to sort of circle back. I'll read through this. I'm going to come back to this one. Reaffirm that teams who don't play in conference title games can move in rankings if evidence-based. And then some partial recusals of members. And without reading every one of these things, that means if you're a team that has somebody on the CFP committee, that you might have to recuse yourself, pull yourself out. But anybody who believes that's really going to happen is crazy. The SEC, and for that matter, all the A4 conferences are going to do whatever they can to pick for themselves. But I want to circle back to this. Reaffirm that teams who don't play in conference title games can move in rankings if evidence-based, quote unquote. So what do you think about that one there, Moen?
Well, one, that's designed for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That rule is specifically put in there for Notre Dame. It's also put in there for saying teams like, and by the way, the 3 teams that complained last year about not getting into the playoffs, I'm pretty sure all 3 of them lost their bowl game.
Yeah,
I know
SEC
South Carolina
teams,
lost and
South
Alabama
Carolina,
lost.
Ole Miss, and Alabama.
Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So maybe they need to reaffirm that. But yeah, this is all based off of Notre Dame, and a Notre Dame that can't play a conference championship game because they won't join a conference, gets to move if it's evidence-based.
Again, in quotes.
In quotes, evidence-based. What evidence? What evidence? Oh, if we need to up the ratings in the college football playoff, I guess that's the evidence we're going to be basing that off of to get Notre Dame in there.
Maybe it's if you're left-handed.
Well, I'll tell you, if anybody wants to be pissed about this, it should be the Big 12 and the ACC.
It is. Well, that's
because
I'm representing
that's a
them.
spot that's going to be taken more than likely from a Big 12 or an ACC team.
Yes.
So if you're the ACC and you love having Notre Dame in that as a partial member, just wait until they take away one of your slots for a college football playoff. Because they are Notre Dame and they get ratings.
Oh boy, I have to take deep breaths whenever I see stuff like this. At the end of the day, these are all subjective metrics. You can't even say those two. That's an oxymoron. Subjective and metrics. I don't know how you could be a fan of this unless you're Notre Dame, or the ACC last year got bailed out by including a school that not only didn't win their conference or conference championship, but had lost during the season to a school that was in the Big 12. And the only reason they were in is because the playoff committee said, well, if they made it into the championship game of their conference, that must mean they're good.
Yeah, but that rule also would have included last year BYU. Because BYU couldn't play in the conference title game, but they were only a one-loss team, and
while that's true, it could have. That's not what ended up happening. What ended up happening is you had Clemson and SMU getting in, and you could make an argument neither one of them was the best team in their own conference.
True, but you could also make the argument that SMU, having lost the ACC championship game, having lost to BYU.
Yeah,
that would be evidence-based enough for me to say put in BYU over SMU.
Yes, you and I are on the same page. Yeah, it should have been.
So I mean, it doesn't just reflect. I just want to make this clear. It does. Yes, I saw your comment, Sean. It's not the most. It's not just to affect Notre Dame, but that rule is in there as a favor to Notre Dame. That
is.
benefits Notre Dame extremely. It's going to benefit Notre Dame more than it's going to benefit any other team.
Well, especially when they only play 12 games,
Yeah.
and you make a championship game, you're playing an extra game as well.
Yep. Everybody has to do it except Notre Dame.
So, and let's just dive into comments, and we're going to hear now from you guys. Make sure you right now, if you want your comment to be read on the air by Moen or I, make it a super chat. Those the only way we can guarantee it'll make it on the air. Other than that, we're going to pick the best comments that we can come across. We do defer to College Football Mafia member comments, just so everybody knows. We're not changing the rules like the CFP seems to want to do. But we definitely want to involve everybody, get in the conversation as we're sitting here talking, because honestly, everybody, this is the one area where college football is such an easy win to make everybody respect your champion a little bit more if you do make things objective instead of subjective mode.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to make on that before we jump right into comments?
No, I was just highlighting some comments for you.
Please do. Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll read them. You keep marking them.
Okay.
That's the quickest way we can get through them. Let's see here. DLB 3422 in the house. Good to have you here, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. And consider becoming a member of the College Football Mafia family, saying, I don't read that as a benefit for Notre Dame, Moen.
Well, we can pull it up here. Let's pull it up real quick, and I just want to read it again. Yep. Reaffirm that teams who don't play in conference title games, that would be Notre Dame.
That would be
Notre Dame cannot play in a conference title game, can move in rankings if it's evidence-based. So if Notre Dame is sitting there at 11 or 10-2,
it'd be or 11-1. Yep.
And some team falls to 10-2 by losing.
Actually, 10-2. Let's sit on 10-2.
10-2, okay. And then some other team falls to 10 wins and 3 losses in their championship game. There could be evidence based for Notre Dame to move up ahead of that conference runner up.
Right.
It's. I don't think it's red. Again, I'm going to say this. It's not it doesn't only affect Notre Dame, but it absolutely, the team it's going to affect most is Notre Dame, because Notre Dame is the team who can consistently not play in a conference title game.
And get to 10 wins fairly easy.
Yeah. I mean, that's their scheduling special they have with the ACC that, they only play what? 7 ACC games, and even more. Now they've got Stanford as a permanent rival, and it doesn't count as an ACC game. And it's weird what Notre Dame has going on, but it is what it is.
Well, and everybody knows, for one thing, everybody knows that Notre Dame, at least around on this channel, they're blue blood. From a program perspective, you have to give Notre Dame props just from just an existing standpoint. Where we run into trouble, and this is where I want to be very clear, and we have friends that are Notre Dame fans around here, huge Notre Dame fans, that we understand the world that we all live in, but Notre Dame fans need to be able to say the same thing and understand they have an advantage that really nobody else in the country can use, and that is only playing 12 games every year. You don't have to play that next game, regardless of the playoff and everything else in your own conference. And why would everybody be okay with that? Moen, why would anybody else be okay with that? Except for our Notre Dame friends.
Well, our SEC friends would, because they don't want Notre Dame to join a conference, because they know it's not going to be the SEC. It would be the ACC or the Big Ten, and in either instance, it would bolster those conferences. But again, I see people saying it doesn't refer to Notre Dame. It's Notre Dame is literally the only school that never plays a conference title game. I shouldn't say never. During COVID, they played in the conference title game, but
that doesn't really count.
So I mean, until they play, hey, if the ACC wants to continue to let them be a non-member and let them play in the conference championship game, I'm all for it. But until they play consistently or have the opportunity to consistently play in a conference championship game, that rule affects them more than any other school in FBS.
All right. Very good. Sean says, I've never heard anyone cry about Notre Dame more than you guys. Sean, it's for one thing, it's not crying. We're stating facts. And at the end of the day, unless you're a Notre Dame fan, how can, again, I ask the question again, how can you justify their path to the playoff? And by the way, this year they had all of 3 games to get up for, and they lost 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm not crying
and
about
Clemson's not great either. And Miami's good.
I love Notre Dame because they're Ohio State's bitch, and they've been Ohio State's bitch since 1936.
Okay,
and if I see them on the schedule, I know that's a W for Ohio State because Notre Dame can't get it done against the Buckeyes. They couldn't get it done last year either, and we won our 9th national championship. So I will complain about Notre Dame, though. I will complain about the fact that I think it's unjust that they get preferential treatment over every other school simply because they're Notre Dame. I don't think that's fair. I understand tradition and legacy and all that nonsense, but at the end of the day, equality is equality, and they get to exist above and beyond that and outside of that. So,
all righty. Sean, thank you for being here tonight. It's great to see you. We really appreciate it. Mr. Monkey says, BYU didn't play in the Big 12 championship game. BYU wasn't dodging anybody. It was a 4-way tiebreaker, as Mr. Monkey says, and there's no way you can't unmake that. It is what it is. But from I can speak personally from BYU's perspective. We wanted to play those games. We're not running from anybody. So,
and the thing I want to bring up here is everybody brings up that Indiana got blown out in the opening round of that playoff. Nobody seems to remember that SMU did as well.
Well,
I think BYU would have been a more competitive team in that playoff bracket than SMU was. So,
yeah, agreed. Thank you so much, Mr. Monkey says. It's great to see you. Trent Brown, my brother's namesake. It's good to see you. Happy Halloween to you and to all those college football mafia members tonight. The scariest Halloween costume is the Notre Dame football team. So scary, they're making people think they're good. And the timing of this, it just happens to be we were talking about Notre Dame in this moment. We're not piling on, well, at least I'm not. Moen might be piling on Notre Dame. I'm not.
Yeah, I will pile on Notre Dame. And Sean wants to bring this up. Ohio State didn't play a conference championship last year. They were eligible for it, Sean. That's the difference. They only played 12 games. And then they played in the first round of the playoffs as the number 8 seed. So, again, Ohio State, you're right. They didn't play in the conference championship. They had to play in the first round, second round, third round, and final round of the playoffs. And they won every one of those games. And Notre Dame is still our bitch, and they haven't beat us since 1936.
I'm not saying any of that. What are you doing? You just
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You can do that one. Go ahead. Pick it.
Strength of record schedule equals metric based on what? We don't know.
That's just it. They've tweaked it.
We don't know exactly what it is. And
they won't publish the math, Mr. Monkey says. I mean, and that's all anybody should want is just publish what the calculations are, because then schools can coach and build their programs around those metrics. You can't. It's like trying to catch air in your fist. You don't know what it is, so how can you build your program around it outside of just go win?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, go
oh,
ahead.
So I'm trying to get through here just as quick as we can. So basically, what you're saying, Monin, is the same way in college football has operated the past 150 years. It's not the same way because we have a 12-team playoff now. I get it. It didn't matter as much because we didn't used to have conference championship games. Those only really came into play in the 1990s, late 80s. So completely different.
Just really quick, I have to go in 5 minutes, so we will get through as many of these comments as we can. Now, are you? First of all, have we hit the goal? I don't even remember what the goal was tonight.
We did not hit the goal. We're sitting at $52 out of 150, but that's, you know what? I will go ahead and I'll put the cowl on. I'm not going to put the bodysuit on, but I will put the cowl on.
Why don't you do that while I'm still driving?
Okay.
Why don't you go get ready, and I'm gonna I'll do more comments as Moen is able to stick around. I've already technically stayed a little bit later than I normally do. But yeah, let's get to a few more comments and then I will let Moen finish the night. Let's see here. Let's see. I wish BYU had played last year. That sucks they didn't have that opportunity because of math. Jose says USC is 23rd. It's out of context. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. USC is 23rd. John Dry says, hey, y'all, guns up. I'm assuming, John, you're representing Texas Tech. In fact, this is actually where, I don't know, when Moen gets back. I do want to talk about Texas Tech. I think it sucks, but it's the fact that Texas Tech is going to have to keep winning, and that goes for everybody in the Big 12, unless you don't have a loss. And then at that point, if BYU at some future point comes across the point where they don't control their own destiny for some stupid reason, I don't think that's going to happen. And I'm knocking on wood, and I honestly believe BYU will be in the Big 12 championship game. Regardless, I don't think Texas Tech. It would be tough for Texas Tech to lose another game, not make the championship game, and make the playoff. Now, Moen is back, and what the hell is that, Moen? You're muted. Okay, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
This is the Mothman cowl.
Oh, the Mothman. That's
the
right.
The Moth Moen.
And you are going to give everybody a history before I leave.
Big red eyes. It's something, Mothman, it's very well known around Point Pleasant. They have a festival there every year. Definitely check it out if you're in the area.
Is that Ohio?
It's West Virginia.
West Virginia, okay.
Just across the Ohio River. Definitely check it out. They have a festival every year. They've got a big 12-foot tall Mothman statue. I recommend everybody check it out.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and try and share the tab here to let everybody see the Mothman statue.
Yeah, let's do it. I want to see
it.
See, even though it sounds creepy, but
screen. And
does it haunt people? Like, does it sit in people's windows and stuff?
Most people consider it a harbinger of doom.
Oh, okay. Well, look at that.
Because it was sighted several times before the collapse of the bridge, and there's even people who said they sighted it on the bridge.
Now, which bridge is that?
That is the bridge that I don't remember the exact name of the bridge.
Okay, but it traverses the Ohio River.
It did traverse the Ohio River.
Oh, that's right. Of course. Yeah, you just said that.
Yeah. So
okay,
it collapsed. A lot of people died, unfortunately. It was a tragedy, but a lot of people consider the Mothman a harbinger of doom. But everybody described it as having big red eyes, being very. It's actually more people described it as bird-like than moth-like, but I guess Mothman was better marketing. So, yeah, that's the Mothman. Point Pleasant, Virginia, West Virginia. Check it out. If you're ever in the area, like I said, they have a Silver Bridge. Thank you, Daniel. It was called the Silver Bridge. You can go to this statue. They have a big festival there every year. It's a big tourist attraction in West Virginia. Of course, the movie, The Mothman Prophecies with Richard Gere and Deborah Messing.
I have heard that. I've never seen them, but I've heard that title before.
Right. It didn't have a whole lot to do with, it talks about the bridge collapsing and everything else, but definitely something you should check out. I'm a big fan of it. It's a part of Ohio folklore, West Virginia folklore. It's not, to me, I don't love it as much as I love the Frogman of Loveland, Ohio.
I've never heard that either.
Yeah, that's another big one. We go to Loveland once a year. Although Point Pleasant embraces the Mothman, and Loveland, Ohio does not embrace the Frogman. So,
okay. And so what is a moth? What is a moth?
A moth is like a butterfly.
Okay.
It's got wings.
Is it a butterfly?
A moth is a type of, I guess you would call it a butterfly. They have big antenna like this on their heads. And yeah, so this is just a part of Ohio folklore, West Virginia folklore. Look it up, check it out. Very interesting. We've got a lot of great Ohio folklore here.
Cool.
In Ohio. I don't have that YouTube channel anymore, but I did one where I had tours of the different places in Ohio that had huge folklore. So that was also part of the Moen brand.
I love it. I love it. Everybody, I want you to have a great and safe evening. Most people are already through Halloween at this point, but I appreciate all of you. Thanks for sharing your Friday evening with us. I want everybody to have a good weekend. If your team is playing, go you. I do have a rooting interest. I do want to see Texas Tech win. And I am 50-50 on Utah. I'm torn on what to do about Utah, but there are some other good games out there. I want Miami to win. I want Oklahoma to win. That just names a couple. But I want you all to know I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here tonight, Moen. Thanks for all your hard work. You have a safe weekend, and you and Rock be good on Sunday. And just as a preview for everybody, Tuesday night, the first CFP picks come out, and I will be live at, 7 p.m. Eastern? Is that right, Moen, or is it 8?
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, but you'll make the show for me?
Yeah, I'll make the show for you.
Okay, great.
And
so I will see. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead and sign out, and then I'm just going to do a quick shout out and get out of here myself.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Okay. Everybody be safe. I appreciate you. Stay out of trouble. And I'm just say go Cougs, okay? Wait a second. Go Cougs, okay? Bye. Peace.
See ya. I want to thank everybody who joined us tonight on our Halloween episode. I do have a bodysuit with this, but thankfully I didn't have to try and squeeze into that because that would not be fun. Because I know I put on a few pounds, I want to give special shout outs to Ryan Willie, who did multiple super chats tonight. Stormy Cyclone, Becky Go Huskies, Hall of Fame college football with Jason Watkins. Check his channel out. Sergeant Pickles with the super chat, and then Becky for adding the 5 gifted memberships to the College Football Mafia channel. You can use those now if you became a member tonight. Definitely go check out our members only content. I think you'll enjoy it. Also, we will have a members only video dropping this Thursday, part 3 of the big money markets. On Sunday night, I will be talking conference realignment with Rock, kind of touching on what Greg talked a little bit about Ohio State yesterday. We will touch on that on Sunday night and potential candidates that Ohio State is most interested in. So definitely check that out. I want to wish everybody a happy Halloween. If you're going to a costume party this weekend, please do not drink and drive. Everybody stay safe, and we will catch you on the next big freaking Friday.